Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to replace the camshaft actuator solenoids on the exhaust or intake side on this Chevy Malibu with the 2.4 liter. Also works for the 2.2 and 2.0. Let's get to it. Now with the hood open, first thing we want to do is remove the oil cap. And when doing this procedure, this Malibu with the 2.4 has this huge engine cover that kind of helps with the intake and stuff like that. If you have a different 2.2 or a different 2.4 or a 2.0, this might look a little different, but the overall principle is still the same. What we're trying to do is to get underneath the cover to get to the valve cover where all the components will be. So on here, we're going to then use a flat blade, loosen up this hose clamp. And then there's also another hose clamp right here. You do have to access it from the side, and it is easiest to be done with a long screwdriver. And then there's a hose clamp over here on the passenger side that also hooks into the intake. Just be careful, as this is plastic and you don't want to bust that nipple off. Once all those are off, we should be able to just lift up, and then everything should be loosened. One more pop clip in the back here, lift it up, and there we go. The intake is now off. I'll show you what I mean by this hose clamp here. On this hose clamp, it's very hard to get in here, but you can get to it with a flat blade or a socket, whatever works best for you. Now with the cover off, we can go ahead and locate the camshaft actuator solenoids. So they are right here on top of the engine, just left of the coil packs. The one closest to the front of the vehicle is the intake, and the one on the back is going to be the exhaust. They're very simple to replace. I'll go ahead and show you how to do the intake one, since they're essentially the same deal to do. So first thing we want to do is just going to pop up this little connector here and push it on tab and pull it on off. Once that tab is taken off, you can see down in here that there's a 10mm bolt holding in the actuator. So we can go ahead and remove that 10mm bolt, and then we should be able to just pull up on the actuator. So let's go ahead and do that. So I know I just said 10mm, but it is an 8mm. We're just gonna bust that loose here. After it's broke loose, you can go ahead and spin it out by hand. And go ahead and grab that bolt and set it off to the side. Once that's out, you can go ahead and put your hand on top of this, and you should be able to wiggle it loose. If it won't wiggle loose, we might need to just get a screwdriver behind underneath here and see if we can kind of pop it up without applying too much pressure. If you apply too much pressure on the solenoid, it will break the cap, but all I did was apply a little pressure right here where the clip popped on, and we were able to pop it loose. And then with pulling that out, you will have a little bit of oil dripping, but overall this one looks very good. So this is my intake camshaft actuator solenoid. Everything looks great on it, and it was in working condition. So I'm not going to be replacing this currently, but if you do need a new one, I will have a link to my Amazon store where you can purchase one. I will have the intake and the exhaust side down in the description below. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and reinstall it. Reinstalling should be very similar to taking it out. So first thing we're going to do is just going to drop it down in there. And then once you drop it in there, just make sure you push it down. You will hear a little click. Take our 8mm here. Start it by hand with the socket. Thread it all the way down. And then just give it a soft little spin with the ratchet. There we go, that's snugged up. We'll go ahead and reconnect our harness and push down the safety clip. Now with the camshaft actuator solenoid reinstalled, you can go ahead and clear the codes out on your computer with your scan tool, or you can disconnect the battery and that will also clear out the codes for you. Restart the vehicle and see if the codes go away or come back. If they do come back, you might have further issues. A lot of times codes from these two actuator solenoids, they are driven off of the timing chain. So if the timing chain is getting slack or jumped a tooth or any other issue, it might be a pre-warning that there is a further issue with the timing chain. So make sure to get that checked out if those codes are coming back. Do not just ignore them. You will slip a tooth and you will be needing a new engine. So make sure you watch those, and otherwise than that, if those codes go away and everything is working great, that's awesome. So that's going to be it for this video. If this video helped you out at all, please make sure to click the like button, subscribe to my channel. Also check out the Amazon links I mentioned down in the description below, and check out my other videos. I got quite a few out there for this Malibu. But until next time, thanks for watching, and see you later.